Hello, welcome to Magical Manifestations. My name is Jenna B. Neece. I'm an author, meditation lover, and chronic anxiety sufferer. I'll be your guide on this journey. My mind often gets too busy, so this podcast aims to remove you from reality and let you drift far away into the mundane, yet beautiful lands of magical manifestations. Fly on a dragon. Visit a magic teashop. Befriend a fairy. The options are endless. Each episode contains 3 parts. Let me guide you through an opening breathing exercise, read you a story, and close out with some more guided breathing to calm the mind and body. But don't worry, let yourself come and go as you please. We always welcome calmness and sleep here. And when you're ready, I'll always welcome you home. Now, a little note to the listeners. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving me a review and subscribing or following on your chosen platform. Maybe recommend it to a friend, coworker, or relative you think might benefit from it. I'd love to have them. Today's episode is a special episode. I'm testing this out. It includes episodes 1 through 5, story-only edition. Tina's Tea Kettle. The smell of lemon and lavender wafted over you, slowly awakening your senses. Down the hill, someone must be making tea. Now, as you awake from your nap, you have a hankering for a walk, so you rise slowly from the hammock that's strung between 2 large oak trees. As you look around, you notice that a misty dew is coating the grass at your feet, making you comfortably cool on the warm afternoon. The sun shines down on your face, warming the skin just enough you can feel it tighten slightly, tasting the light saltiness in the air whistling in off the sea. You slide your feet into your shoes, and you slowly head down the cobblestone path, letting yourself take all the time you want. As you walk, you see a young witch waving wildly to her mother as the woman approaches their cottage, back from her morning errands. You have to smile, seeing the young girl jump up and down enthusiastically as her mother, beautiful woman she is, bends down and scoops the girl up with one arm. The quiet squeal of delight reaches you as you pass, and you pause, just for a moment, to watch her youthful exuberance. Wind sashays past you, gently pressing your long, flowy tunic around your body. It reminds you of when you were young, when you raced up and down the hills, sometimes on foot, other times on broom. As the memories flood you, you continue to walk down the path. Every now and then, the stone skitters along at the touch of your foot. As you pass the river mouth at the edge of Delgin village, you see a couple of young mer girls playing together. When they see you, they flap their shiny turquoise tails out of the water and wave shyly at you. The sun reflects off their scales. Their glowing hair floats out like sun rays around them in the water. You raise your hand and wave back. As you walk, you cross a small bridge into the outskirts of Delgin. The trees grow more sparse here, but little houses and shops spring up from the earth like they have always been here, like they always will be. Maybe they will. Not much changes around here. Delgin is a little village that's just a brief walk from your humble cottage. You come here most days, share a conversation, visit the many shops, enjoy the friendly atmosphere before walking home under a beautiful setting sun, skies streaming with pinks, oranges, reds, and purples. Today will be no different. As you walk down the main street, quiet chatter filters out windows like butterflies float on a breezy day. Lazily, almost non-committally, You listen to the sing-song voices filter by you. From time to time, you slow to a stop and browse a shop window full of supplies: cauldrons, broomsticks, wands, nightbane, lilac, all different things and shops, each carefully displayed. You find comfort in the randomness of it all. It's like someone somewhere was counting on you to stop at this moment, to browse their window, and you quite like that. Warmth spreads through you from toe to tip of nose. You continue on your stroll. A little wizard, no older than 2, goes running by. You see him lose his footing, and you wave your hand at the ground in front of him, conjuring a small but plush purple velvet cushion for him to land on. His mum, a kindly looking woman with flaming red curls, scoops him up, thanking you as you just smile and pass by. As you pass, the cushion vanishes with a little popping noise. You keep walking, winding around to the spot you most want to be. You know that if you walk long enough, for enough time, you'll arrive at the most quaint little tea shop called Tina's Tea Kettle. After winding around, you approach the shop. Smells drift out the open door, coating you in cinnamon, lavender, lemon, and nutmeg. While strong, the aroma is comforting, not overwhelming. Once you step into the shop, the pretty round-faced woman behind the counter lights up, practically glowing as she gestures you forward, already pulling an oversized burgundy mug from the cabinet and waving her hand, starting your favorite brew: cranberry and pomegranate, a thick red-colored tea. The appeal of Tina's Tea Kettle is the ambiance. Quiet conversations, magic brews, a rich fragrance. The room is full of patrons, most settled on oversized stuffed sofas, sipping quietly while they chatter with a companion. You, on the other hand, prefer the big armchair by the door, enjoying the quiet moment of companionship that comes with comfortable silence as people nod and bob their heads at you as you take a seat. You stay there, sipping away for quite some time. Eventually, the woman behind the counter, Tina, brings you a big puffy scone, rich with butter, and it all but melts on your tongue. You pull a book from within your tunic, and you read quietly as the day dwindles on. From time to time, you speak to someone passing by, but you always return to the weathered book in your hands. Occasionally, you stroke the rough cover. It's not until you notice the afternoon sun slipping down the horizon that you stand and stretch your limbs. As you leave the shop, you take in the sunset outside. The sky is beginning to stream with fluorescent shades of pink, orange, purple, and red, burning away the remaining light like a wildfire. Out of control. The beauty is almost too much. You stop and stare, letting noise tinkle around you. The evening air is thick with scents of cooked meat and spiced desserts. You can vaguely smell apple pie coating the evening air, begging to be devoured by some family. You move towards the exit of Delgin's perimeter. The town noises make way for nature sounds. Birds chirp, dogs barking, splashing from nearby water. As you amble back home, the birds begin to swoop low across your path, and you watch them making their way home too, flying back to nest of babies with worms. You smile at the cycle of life around you. When you make it back to the cottage, you open the big green door, cross the threshold, and slip your shoes off. As you shut the door behind you, you smile out at the last burning embers of the day as they stretch across the flaming sky. Like a good mug of tea, it warms you to the core. A dragon named Hildagar. The cliffside you stand on is one of your favorite spots. You love the feel of the wind in your hair. There's something so natural and magical about it. You take a deep breath. Then you open your eyes. Look out across the expansive stretch of blinding blue sea that stretches out before you. The smell of salty mist rises up and slicks your flesh like a second skin, leaving a pleasant earthy taste on your tongue's tip. And when you listen closely, in the far distance, you can hear the waves rapping at the shore's door. This is everything. The quiet simplicity of the moment rests on your shoulders in a weightless cocoon of comfort. The morning is cool in a pleasant way, and as you turn away from the cliffside you stood on, rocks skitter away from your feet as you inch back, almost reluctant to leave the beauty behind. You become aware of the lush green foliage of the tree line behind you. It's wiggling away, which is the only indication you have that you aren't alone. With a small smile, you walk over and peer into the tree line. You wait for Finyar to emerge from the trees. After a few seconds, the young dragon bounces out, his back reaching only your waist, and looks like a colorful prism of seashells, each small spiky scale glinting in the light of the morning sun. The reflection makes you squint slightly, but you reach a hand up and gently pat his head. He leans into your palm, his radiant warmth coursing along your skin. Young dragons are so like overgrown puppies. As you walk into the trees, Finyar pads along beside you, happily wagging his tail. Every so often, he gently nudges your body with his head. As you walk deeper into the trees, the sounds of the world grow distant, but they're replaced with pure nature. Birds singing, the nearby stream, and the quiet rustle of the vibrant green foliage as you walk. Here, everything has a place. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is dangerous. For you are a friend of the forest, and it protects its own. Along the path, you pass by some ancient, abandoned ruins. The stark white stone is covered with lush green moss, weathering as if the forest has taken it in and made it one with it. You pause briefly to marvel at the structure that you imagine in your mind's eye was once magnificent. After all, it's still beautiful now, crumbling away. The pillars at the entrance to the structure are massive, taller than a full-grown dragon, and you wonder how they were made. But slowly, you continue on your walk, deeper into the forest. Finyar bounces ahead of you, eager to return to his den. His tail swishes away underbrush as he runs along jovially. You laugh quietly as he takes off and soars through the trees into a clearing. There are two large dragons, both as tall as two-story houses, standing there, waiting. Hildagar, the female dragon, is a rich amethyst color that would make a gem collector melt with envy. Her eyes, a striking emerald, look infinitely wise. As you approach her, she cocks her head to the side, chuffing out a small stream of steam. Hildagar's mate, Spiral, doesn't bother looking up. He's so used to your presence that his ebony body and shocking yellow eyes don't even glance. He is no threat. Neither are you. You both exist in a sort of comfortable companionship. Hildagar is yours. Spiral claims her too, so you understand the golden tether that binds you all together, and their young, Finyar, feels it too. You warm with happiness as Hildagar nudges you with her big head. Her hot, wet tongue laps out sloppily on your arm when you stroke her velvety scales. "Morning, Hilda," you say. She kneels down, understanding why you're here. You came to ride, and she's more than happy to oblige you. As you climb on and settle against her wing joints, she rises to her full height, bringing you high above the surrounding trees. She takes a step or two. The ground jolts under you, but you're secure on Hildagar's back. She'd never let you fall. She soars upward, and the wind rushes through your hair. The smell of trees and sea mingle, but the exhilaration of the misty air flying past you is consuming. You rise higher and higher, and as you look out across the open waters, Hildagar dips low and skims her feet along the surface, splashing cool liquid up upon you. A laugh escapes you as she raises back into the sky. The beat of her wings rocking your whole body sends a powerful tremble through you, not of fear, but of sheer reverence at the majestic beast under you. After her initial show of power, she flies lazily around, letting the misty air cling to your skin, slicking it slightly. When the first chill sets in, she nestles her wings slightly higher, letting their warmth wrap you in a soft cocoon of heat as you melt into her back. This is what safety feels like. And then she turns, making her way back the way she came, flying you low over the trees. You watch with wonder at the creatures scurrying along branches. You see them look up at you with big, needy eyes staring in awe. She sets down gently in the rocky clearing, and you slide from her sun-soaked scales. As you stretch your legs, you smile up at her fondly. Good girl, you say before heading down a barely visible path off the clearing. Thank you for the ride. She chuffs at you, as if to say, anytime. You smile as you disappear into the forest. Your limbs stretch and strain just slightly at the rough terrain, but you know the way well, and so does your body. Each muscle showing its power as they contract with the steep steps. You walk along in peaceful silence until you reach a hut deep within the forest. And then you approach. There's a soft glow coming from the window, and fire warms it as you see smoke seeping from the chimney. You walk up the steps, taking in the beautiful brown of the door, rich like chocolate or coffee. And when you open it, you smell just that, coffee. It wafts towards you, and the warmth of the hut surrounds you, glides over you from toes to knees, to stomach, to shoulders, and finally to cocoon your head in its warmth. As you pour the coffee, you look at the billowing fire and the hearth and approach the chair before it. Thinking deep, you sigh contentedly. The Magic Library. You become aware of your surroundings. You aren't sure where you are, but you stand, feet planted, at the bottom of a giant set of steps. They lead to a building with massive white pillars and marble-hewn statues littering the entryway. The smell of something old drifts towards you, like an ancient magic that twirls in the twilight night air. The air tastes of something rich, earthy like spices on your tongue. You look up at the building, listening hard. You hear nothing but the still silence of evening insects clacking around you. Despite not knowing where you are, you slowly ascend the steps, growing nearer to the top. Your body, your mind, feels drawn to this place, like its magic runs deep in your veins, coursing through you like your very blood. As you draw nearer and nearer, you feel the power building in you, making you stronger. By the time you reach the top of the stairs, Light pours from your very skin, warming you as your glow lights up the semi-darkness around you. You don't fear the light, for somehow, you know it's the power that resides in you showing itself to this magical place. Like kinship, they recognize each other. Power to power. You walk to the massive bronze-colored double doors and reach for the handle. You pause and notice it's ornately carved with owls and elephants, creatures of knowledge. When you pull, the door isn't heavy, despite looking it. It pulls open easily, as if to welcome you inside, to welcome you home. You walk slowly into the large room beyond. The ceiling is far above you, painted with intricate designs you can just barely see, but the details look blurry from this far. The room is massive, and every available space seems to be taken up with bookcases, stacks of old tomes, and the occasional puffy sofa. You stand there, really taking in the enormity of the space, when you feel the power building in you again. You gasp into silence, and that's when you notice it. There's a quiet hum emitting from the room, and when you look for the source, you see nothing that should be emanating such a powerful vibration. You walk a few paces in, drawn to the space. It's clearly a library, but nothing about this place feels ordinary. Quite the opposite. It's extraordinary. You start walking, slowly, through the space. While you don't see any lights except sparsely placed lanterns from time to time, it's as if the books are faintly glowing. You keep walking, and the deeper you go, the more you feel like someone is watching you. It's not an uncomfortable feeling, but a curious one. That's when you see, way, way back at the back of the room, there is a desk, illuminated slightly, and a very old-looking man in a pointed hat sits there, patiently waiting. You pick up your pace, shuffling faster, but you can't help it. From time to time, you trail your fingers across the old spines of books as you pass. Each time, a pleasant pulse spills through your hand, and somehow you feel wiser, more powerful. Finally, after a few moments longer than felt natural, you make it to the back of the room where the old man sits. He's a curious-looking man, skinny, a tall pointed hat, and deep green robes. He looks as old as the books themselves. He smiles at you and says, "How may I help you?" You look around the space. "Where am I?" you ask. "Oh my, you're in the magical library of Warith. How did you get here if you did not seek us out?" That's when you realize you do know why you are here. You are here to feel the power, to let the strength of knowledge course through you. "Sorry, I'm no longer lost. I just didn't realize it," you say. He smiles knowingly at you and gestures back towards the room. "Seek what you came for. All things are found and lost here. Leave behind what you want and take what you need." As you turn around, you feel tension ease from your body, starting at your shoulders, moving down your spine, all the way to the tips of your toes. Yes, you will leave that behind, you think. You walk towards a long row of shelves, and you brush your fingers gently along the books, and you feel the unmistakable warmth of acceptance coming from the tomes. That's when you notice a golden glowing string running from your outstretched hand. You follow it. You keep walking until you reach the end of the aisle where there is a big sofa with a book on it. You walk around and see the string vanishes here. You take a seat, reaching for the book, waiting for you. When you open it, light bursts forth and illuminates you, just briefly before fading into rich, velvety darkness. You smile as you see it's a book on strength. It gave you what you needed. In your mind's eye, you see a big mug of peppermint cocoa appear on a little tray in front of you. You sigh as you pick it up, feeling the warmth before it even touches your lips. You let the rich chocolate and cool peppermint linger in your mouth and feel calmness radiate through you. You feel understood as you sit there, flipping through the book. You feel power and strength and courage awakening from their slumber deep inside you. Then, feeling eyes on you again, you look up to see the old man approaching. "Hello," you say. "Come now, you have what you're looking for." You crook your head to the side, not quite understanding what he means. He smiles. It's already inside you. The books give not magic, but the key to unlock what is already within you. They hear it. They know it exists. Strength and power aren't taught. They live here, he said, putting his hand to his chest. You slowly stand, running your hand across your chest, resting your palm over your heart. The glow begins again on your skin. "Yes, I've found it," you say. "Can you show me the way home?" He smiles at you and just taps his heart. You think hard about home and feel a tugging sensation at your navel, and then warmth spreads through you. Your eyes squeeze shut. Then you open them and find yourself in your home. A warm fire is burning down to the embers in the fireplace. Warmth and calmness radiates through you as you see your hands faintly glowing. The Phoenix Reborn. It's late at night, but you always know when it's time. Something in your gut tells you. You feel this warmth that you can't escape. It's not painful, just noticeable. Right now, you look around your space. You stand in the middle of a large chamber. The walls are stone, and there's a kind of almost silence to the room that you welcome. When you listen closely, somehow, there's the sound of wind chimes tinkling faintly in the distance. High above, there is a hole in the ceiling where light seeps in. There's an altar in the middle of the room, and there is a light coating of ash upon it. You can smell the residue from all the previous times you used this space, and it leaves an unusual taste on the tip of your tongue. Not unpleasant, just unusual. The stone has a slight glow to it. Ash, your phoenix, will be here any minute. You've been bonded for over 100 years, and it's time for rebirth. When she appears high above, you take a deep breath in and then slowly blow out as she flies down to perch on the altar. You always worry, but now you know it's going to be fine. Ash is here, safe, and you know what to do from here. You are prepared. You hear faintly a rich melody fills the chamber. Another sign. As Ash settles onto the altar, your mind wanders over the process to come. Knowing brings comfort. Being bonded to Ash means that you are responsible for making sure the rebirth goes well. Every 9 or 10 years, you must help by being with her, just in case anything goes wrong. It never has. Really, there isn't that much required of you. But your love and devotion to Ash makes the process easier on her. Her comfort is important. You approach the altar and stroke your hand down the soft crimson feathers of your friend. Today, when you touch her, if you fall out, just another sign that rebirth is coming soon. She cocks her head at you to acknowledge this, and you see the exhaustion in her eyes. Although, the only reason you all enter this sacred chamber is for rebirth, so that's enough to signify to her what is happening. You don't have to tell her, though. She's brilliant. You feel it when it starts. Your palm grows warm on her feathers, and you take a small step back, waiting. Quietly, she bursts into flame, but she doesn't cry out or shriek. There is a look of pure relief on her face as she turns to dust. And now, you wait. You step back up to the altar, watching the pile of ashes. She will be reborn, and her strength and beauty will be unimaginable. Each time it happens, it stuns you. And each time this happens, you feel stronger as she prepares to regenerate. It's like liquid gold is being poured into your veins, and with each pump of the heart, it reaches new places, filling you up with pure power and purpose. It's as if you are being reborn, free from the weight you usually carry. You shrug your shoulders, feeling them loosen as the ashes begin to stir. First, you see a beak poke out, then vibrant green eyes open. Next, the massive wings with a width of 5 feet apiece start forming and growing to reach their full size. And all within about a minute, she's back. When you reach out for her, she moves into your hand, sends a small jolt of power through you at the touch. And as if on cue, the golden liquid that courses through you turns luminescent, and it shines out of your very pores. You are a human torch, a burning sun. You smile at her, knowing she can withstand anything, for this is the power you carry within you. It's her power. So is your power. She's strong. When she's knocked down, she gets back up. When a part of her dies, she is reborn, new, and ready to take on the world. You take a deep breath in and blow it out slowly as the glow fades from your skin. She perches on your shoulder for a moment, and then she soars off through the hole in the ceiling high above. She must stretch her new wings, test her limits, break free, and you watch her in awe at the beauty of her retreating form. That's what second chances are. Rebirth. Of course, for her, she'll get plenty more chances, but it's always an honor. You look down and see one new, brilliantly scarlet feather. You pick it up, knowing what you must do. You take a small door off the chamber and navigate a dark hall that slopes steeply upwards. You breathe easy as you climb, one step after the next. Your muscles strain just the right amount. When you reach the light, the opening out, you exit and head to a cauldron that is already ready for you. There is a thick green potion inside, and you drop the feather in. It immediately turns crimson, and you smile before scooping some into a cup, drinking deeply. You feel it happening. The potion giving you youth again. You feel the strength, the love pouring through your veins. You sigh and let go of the old pains and aches. You let go of the stress. You let go of the fear, for you are reborn, new from ashes' golden fire. Wolf Run. You stand at the opening of the woods, staring into the trees. Thick green leaves dangle down, almost obscuring your view of the path in front of you. Every month for 6 months, you've came here. The smell of mossy trees and earthy soil drift up to you, coating you with nature's finest scents. The night is filled with the sounds of crickets and the odd cicada, but you are waiting for something else. You can almost taste the anticipation, the draw to transform. You hear one howl in the distance, and then you feel your body start to morph. Intentionally ratty clothes ripping, skin turning to hair, body changing shape. It doesn't hurt, but you do get warm all over, and when you drop onto all fours in your massive wolf form, the feeling of the night air brushing through your fur is comforting. It calms your racing heart. Your senses are more keen in this form. You can hear everything. Water in the distance, other animals, wolves, your pack already running loose in the trees. You sniff the air and take off at a trot into the forest. You pick up speed as you go. Of your many strengths, your speed and agility have always been most noticeable. Probably because you have always had the wolf inside you, but you didn't know until recently. You speed up, running faster and faster through the trees. The night streaks by in a blue-black blur of blinding speed. Your paws know what to do. They keep you steady. You let yourself enjoy the night, the feeling of freedom, and then you head to the clearing where your pack will be. They are all humans too. You all are plagued by the same mysterious existence. Mostly human, a little wolf. But you've bonded, and it doesn't feel like a curse. It feels like coming home. You burst into the clearing, skidding to a stop in a circle of 21 other wolves. Each wolf looks different. Some are stark black, others are gray or white, brown, you name it. The one thing you all share is the eye color. You have stunning golden eyes that shine in the moonlight like gems. You, a giant chocolate wolf, knows the wolf to your right. She playfully nudges you back. The whole pack looks up as the moon comes out from behind a cloud, and you all howl in unison. Then you each take off into the night. You always meet, but then you enjoy time running on your own. If you all weren't drawn to each other, you'd never have realized what was going on, that you were all different. Not fully wolf or human, but your gut told you. Like a moth to a flame, you were drawn here to the warmth of the pack. But the most joyous part of the night was yet to come. You race through the trees, dodging low-hanging branches until you near the pond you're looking for. You slow to a trot as you approach. It's a wondrous thing. The crystal clear quality of the water, the magenta and coral-colored pebbles glittering the shore, and the waterfall that always seems to sparkle in the moonlight. Nature bestowed a healthy dose of beauty here. You slowly wade in, feeling your fur soak with the silky water. It slicks back the shag around your eyes, and you paddle deeper in. The center of the pond has a large stone landing. You paddle there, shimmy up on it, and flop over on your side. The hard rock presses against you in a reassuring way. The moon shines down, soaking you in its light, refreshing you. You are a creature of the moon, and you let it recharge you. Eyes closed, you listen to the water lapping at the rock. You listen to birds chirping. You taste the water from the pond, weirdly salty on your sensitive tongue. You just stay there, enjoying the pure bliss of the night. You let your fur dry slowly in the humid night air, just because you can. You don't care that it will get wet again. After some time, you move slowly to a standing position. Stare up at the moon and stars twinkling in the night sky, and you howl. It's a loud but beautiful noise, and then you head home. First, you swim through the water, and then wade to the shore. From there, you streak like the wind, sling water in your wake, drying yourself again in the night air thick with the scent of other wolves and mossy trees. You make it to the edge of the forest, and you pause briefly to look for people. There are none. There never are. But then you keep to the shadows anyway, and skirt towards the village you live in. It's a small village full of nice people that are likely some of the wolves you run with, but you don't take chances. When you make it to your house, a quaint country cabin of sorts, you slink up to the big door, use your mouth to turn the carved handle, and pad inside. Once inside, you shut the door with a paw, hearing it click. You pad over to the fireplace, lie down on the giant shag rug, and bask in the dying embers of the fire. The warmth coats your fur, drying it completely as you stare into the darkness of the room. You feel like everything is right in the world. Thank you for listening. This has been a Magical Manifestations production by Jenna B. Neece. Please remember to subscribe and review the episodes. It means the world to me.